grandfather in a 1999 interview with CNN. Let's discuss, and let me start just by bringing people into the conversation we were having during the commercial. Jamie, you were just telling the esteemed Bernard Shaw how worried George H.W. Bush was about him as Desert Storm kicked off.
So well, we all know we watched Desert Storm live on television, and that man was right there. Bernie reporting on it, the bombs coming down. George H.W. Bush was so worried about his safety and where he was, and they were making calls to make sure that he was okay. He was not happy that you were in harm's way.
When I came back to the Washington Bureau about a week later, the Bushes invited me over to the residence. Went upstairs, there's Brett Scowcroft, Marlon Fitzwater, the president. That was the time when Mrs. Bush had broken her foot, and she came in with a cane, and the president came in. He's wearing a yellow sport jacket. He said, "Bernie, we were really worried about you." I said, I was worried about you.
But you say that doesn't surprise you.
No, not at all, because he always worried about the other guy. Right? And Tim could tell you tons of stories about that. You know, even at some of the most important moments in his own life, he worried about other people all the time. We all felt that.
So you've been at Bush's side since 1985 when you started working for him. He was vice president.
I was his aide for 5 years, and to Anita's point and Bernie's point, worrying about the other guy. The story that stands out the most was the day of his inauguration as president. He decided it was a temperate day. He wasn't going to wear his overcoat. So we left it in the limo down on the Capitol Plaza. And as we're getting ready, as he's being ready to be escorted out onto the platform, he sees that Nancy Reagan is bundling up President Reagan from the cold. He's got his overcoat and a scarf. And the president-elect turns to me and said, "I need my coat." I said, "Well, there may not be time to get your coat before you're escorted out," because everything was choreographed. So he said, "Well, I need my coat. I can't go out looking more robust than President Reagan." And so we quickly handed him my coat. He wore it out, took it off after when it was time for him to be sworn in. But he was worried about President Reagan on the most significant day of his life, I have to imagine.
And there's a little thing, a coat. And as you were just talking about Condi Rice, he wouldn't go to Germany when the wall came down. So little things, large things. He wasn't going. As his mother said to him, "George, don't be a braggadocio." And that really was with him throughout life, whether it was a baseball game or running for office. And he said that it may have hurt him, actually, politically, that he wasn't more willing to boast about himself.
But, you know, Bush was very concerned about appearances, not being braggadocious or what have you. The Bushes invited me and my wife, Linda,